Good evening and welcome, adventurers, to another exciting episode of the Facite, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition TTRPG actual play campaign. I am your humble mistress, Winter, Game Mistress Winter, writer, voice actress, and all-around TTRPG hobbyist. You can find me at gmistresswinter on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you all for being here. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back, and thank you for your continued support. If you are a newcomer, well then let's go ahead and reintroduce our amazing cast, starting with, and shake things up again, Dennis.
Hi, I'm Dennis. I'm the okayest DM on YouTube and okayest DM on Twitter. My YouTube channel is about making mistakes that I've made running games and, seeing how to fix them and whether things work for me or not. It's a great time, but I haven't made a lot of content recently because Winter has been helping me design a new TTRPG that we are really excited for. It continues getting closer and closer to the beta testing phase.
And that is absolutely exciting. I've gotten the wonderful chance to try it out a little bit and provide some feedback. And Dennis, you are a gracious creator to take this rough feedback.
Hey, I didn't make it great the first time around. It's great.
Hey, it's important. I just gave a small talk to a group of people about failure and how failing, you have to accept failure in order to grow and to become better. And channels like yours, you're expressing that you've made these mistakes and this is how you're going to try and do better. So in sharing that, you can help others avoid the same pitfalls, or at least learn how to recover from them. So that's fantastic. But all proselytizing aside, thank you, Dennis. All right, Joey.
Hi, I'm Joey. I play Delphinium or Finn, and you can find me at Prince Perry Pastille on Twitter and TikTok. I'm cracking today.
Yeah, I forgot to do my voice vocal exercises before I came on too, so fun times. Thank you, Joey. And Abby.
Hi everyone, I'm Abby Marie Carter. You can find me on Instagram at Abby_Marie_Carter. And I'm very excited to be here tonight.
And we are excited to have you. Absolutely. All right, and last but certainly not least, the amazing JoJo.
Hi, I'm Jo. I play Serana in this campaign, and you can find me on social media at MaryHappy2 or AltJojo24 with a variation of JoJo's and 6s and 2s and 4s pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, then. Well, does anybody have any new business, anything we need to discuss before we jump into tonight's episode?
I want to figure out how we're going to wield this god tier weapon.
All right. Well, then let's give it no further ado and jump into tonight's episode of The Facite. last time on the Facite, our delvers ran into fire. Lots of fire. As they explored the last large rooms, I'm not going to say all of the rooms, they've still got a couple more, but the last large rooms of the vault, doing away with elementals and infernals that had been trapped there for over 30,000 years. Now, they turn their attention to searching for something that will help them handle this apocalyptic weapon that is purported to be in the west wing of this vault.
Can we be done with the fire? Like, it's...
I think it would be a lot better if you would just not walk into it.
Oh, and I should let you?
Well, you
No,
should
'cause
at
I'm not
least
dumb.
try a door before kicking it down.
Well, I mean,
It was unlocked.
who's going to use the doors after we do?
The other people that find out about this place. I guarantee you.
Well, they can
it is
just
going
walk
to be
through.
Cleaned out after we're gone.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And
It is-
can't really be done with fire because we have to get the Everflame. So we might be done fighting fire, but we're not going to be done with fire because
Yeah, what is that thing
literally
anyway?
what we're here for.
We're not really sure. And
Not
I've been
sure?
thinking about it. It was studied by Gipty scientists for a long time. You're watching the results of those studies.
No, sir. I don't like it.
It seems strange to fight fire with fire, don't you think?
Oh, actually, it's quite efficient.
How so? The little one brings up a good point.
Well, I could go into the details of how grass fires work and are contained, but we don't have time for that.
Alright.
He peers around the vast room that you're in.
This reminds me of, kennels. In fact, that's exactly what I think this is. You know, in my youth, used to spend a little time, among the hound breeders and such.
I really wish Rat would have given you more information.
I wish I would have pressed him more.
Well, should we continue exploring, or I don't know if I can take fighting anything more. I'm not feeling too great, but I think we should probably finish exploring. So hopefully we can figure out how to get the Everflame, because right now it's our only option for closing the rift.
Or fighting our way to get there. We need to talk about this first. What exactly are we going to use this thing for? My initial thought was just we needed more power in order to get to the rift and defeat Nemesis.
Well, we need like magical light or fire or something, because we're fighting magical shadows. So I don't really know. Use it to ward off the shadows? I don't really know.
Well, where did we get the idea from? I mean, the thread was the silk was obvious, but where did the
I hear a little point over at Kimberly and just kind of like, when I talked with Kimberly, she talked about needing magical items to help fight against the darkness and the shadows. And so when we found out about the Everflame, we thought, one of us thought, and now I think that it could be used to ward off the shadows that we have to fight.
The thing in there has a lot of power, and I have no frame of reference as to its capabilities. As far as the thread, in order to sew a hole, you need a thread, don't you?
if Red is intending for us to deliver this, I don't suppose we can't split it in half.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. Well, it might be. Ben, I think we should take a look at those documents in there. I think together we could probably learn something about it. Or, I guess, priorities. Learn how to activate the golem that's, I think, was used to move this thing around.
I agree, though it seems some experimenting was going on. I don't want to be set on fire again. I hurt, but is there anything over there?
Do we all need a little bit of extra healing before we go on?
I'm just one big hurt, so yeah.
It couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Here. And Archie will focus into his lantern, and it glows brightly again. And I'm going to cast a first level reaction heal. So everyone is going to get a D8.
There is a pulse of warmth and light that just emanates from the lantern and washes over each of you in turn.
5.
Healing cuts and bruises, burns.
I feel a little better. Let's go find out what this thing does.
That'll do. Do we want to look around in here, or are we good with this room?
Oh, I haven't looked.
We just put down the last of them curves.
Trying to make
I don't want to set anything off. I don't want to set anything off that might be on fire, so I'll just let y'all explore.
All right, that's fair.
All right.
Who's gonna be searching? Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear any verbals, and I look up and I have a hands up. Okay, all right, cool. Trying to figure it. All right. I'm gonna pose this actually to the players, between Archie and Finn. How do you feel about this room so far?
Archie feels mostly curious. He still wants to figure out what they were doing with, like, this is clearly, like, most of this space was meant for studying the Everfire. But I don't know what hellhounds in cages has to do with that, so I'm looking for evidence that might answer those questions.
I think Finn would kind of go along those lines as well. Deacon mentioning the kennel and hellhounds not exactly being, I assume, not common.
Absolutely not.
How did they get here? You know, what is the purpose of this room?
Okay. Archie, even though you have a better context than anybody here, the clues and pieces of this mystery are just not clicking into place. It's distracting and in some part a little disorienting. So even though as you're kind of perusing the debris of the room, you just find yourself like more lost in thought than actually paying attention to what you find. Finn, you find on the surface level of perception tools of capture, of holding, restraint, muzzles, and manacles of different sizes and shapes. Lots of, tools of capture and binding and restraint. You make your way toward the east end of the room, where there are some crates that have long disintegrated, and probably could tap them and they'd fall to splinters. There is a charred corpse, mummified by its own leathery hide. Their arms are outstretched as if reaching for something. And you follow them to the outline of a hidden door.
Guys, you know how we said that we probably shouldn't, get hurt anymore?
Yeah?
Here's the door.
To where? Okay.
I suppose we should try and go through it if we're trying to explore everything still.
More information, the better.
Unless we...
I'll go ahead and notch one of the regular bolts in the crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
And if no one goes for it, I'll open the door.
Okay. The door slides inward and into a little niche in the wall. Come along, Kimberly.
What do you see?
we got to get George too.
George.
I have no idea where George is. There he is.
He scuttles in after seeing that the danger is past, just kind of.
We love George.
You're looking down just this long length of hallway. Very narrow.
I'm guessing this heads back. Well, I don't know if it'll connect, but...
Finn, can you check for traps?
Oh, of course!
Alright. You creep along the hallway, keeping an eye out for pressure plates or tripwires, anything that might indicate a trigger, but find nothing.
Okay. I'll go. Oh, did I just close the door? I didn't mean to...
Yeah, you did.
I didn't mean to do that.
You can open it back up.
Oops.
The wonders of Roll20. That's actually a new feature that they put in just last year, if I remember correctly. Before then, I had to move the dynamic lighting lines aside to reveal rooms and stuff like that. So they're getting their stuff together. All right.
I'll go in last behind Kimberly and Deacon.
Okay. And George will be right there as well. So is Serana leading the way?
Yes, because I'm not letting the tiny one do it.
Okay.
I am tall.
All right. Well, at the end, you can see the back end of a door.
I'll try to open it without doing anything to it.
Without doing anything to it? What do you mean?
Trying to I wanna open it. But wait, no, hold on. Finn.
You want me to open it?
Yeah.
It's just a door, right?
As far as it seems, yeah. Players are so squeamish about traps.
It's because you say, well, as far as I know,
because I'm neither going to confirm nor deny,
Let's open it.
It would ruin the fun. You should be able to open it there.
Oh.
You pull it into its little depression and find that the front of it has a facade of wall and shelving with fake scrolls.
Secret tunnel.
No.
I'm sorry.
You triggered it in my brain.
Me too.
Same.
You know how to get rid of an
I missed
earworm,
something.
though, right? You just sing the end. And died.
Die.
I do not know this one, and I am kind of glad for it right now.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Come on. Secret tunnel.
Archie will yell from the back. Well, what do you see?
The scrolls room.
What? Why would there
Yeah,
be a
why
secret
did these-
tunnel between the Hellhound chamber and the Scrolls room?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh well. Cool, at the very least.
Do we try to push it over, or is it just a tunnel?
It looks like it's just a passageway from one room to another.
So are we turning around or are we going in? Okay, I can't go forward. I'm gonna turn around. Let's go this way.
Okay.
Let's just close it.
Okay.
Okay.
Have it back.
Very well.
Alright. I think there's only a little bit left that we haven't checked out yet. I feel like we've gotten almost in the entirety of this building, which if I remember correctly is about square.
Yeah. I mean, in shape, yes. Or abstract shape. Though I can't, I think we still got the center of it.
Well, let's find it.
Oh, I should probably come back out. Sorry!
We're just
I
gonna.
haven't been in such a tight space since I was living at home.
Here's a door I don't think we've opened. Would anybody else care to open the door?
Ben, you're our local door expert.
I've got my crossbow loaded.
Sorry, is that a yes?
I suppose so.
Okay.
Alrighty. On 3,
3.
2.
Wait, no. Go back. You said on 3, and
Yeah,
you
and I
started
said
at
3. Open the door.
I have to make.
Okay.
No,
Oh.
and this is why we kick down doors.
With a little help from Deacon, as these stone doors are a little stuck and heavy, the stone doors push open. Pieces of a hand cart lie in a heap in the corner of this room. Shreds of dried leather are the only remnants of frocks that used to hang on wall hooks. A stone table bears a roll of dissolving cloth wrapped around glittering objects.
Alright. Don't see any danger.
That doesn't mean there isn't any. We tend to keep finding it.
What's on the table?
What is on the table?
Should we touch it?
No.
I'd like to look what's on the table.
Me too.
Okay. On closer examination, it looks to be a roll of tools. The roll itself is disintegrating and has thinned out, so you can make out the shapes of tools, but you can't quite see what they are.
Archie will take one of his pieces of medical equipment, like a scalpel or something, and move the cloth away so we can see what's underneath.
The cloth just kind of dissolves as you touch it, and the tools contained therein just kind of settle onto the top, on the surface of this stone table. They are surgeon's tools, scalpels, and they are made of a shimmering, elegant metal. silvery in look, but almost like there's like little diamonds, like diamond powder in the metal as well.
Seen this sort of thing before. Don't remember where, but I'm guessing. I don't know. It's either magical or can be magical.
I mean, anything can be magical. Pretty much.
Well, I think I'll just take those.
I think that makes sense.
And I'll like take out, because I have my medical equipment sort of in a sash across my chest, and I'll start like taking out the old ones, putting them in a different pouch, and replacing them with the shiny new diamond dust ones.
If somebody gives me a good enough crafting, I can tell you what they're made of.
Ooh.
I'll roll a crafting. It's a +2.
I have a +7 to crafting, so.
I rolled
And
a
our
16.
local surgeon's tools expert.
Okay. What's that?
In our local surgeon's tools expert.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna do anything.
I mean, I have a +9 if you want.
Sure. Yeah. What you got?
$13.
Total?
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
Oh, gross.
I rolled a 16 total. Oh, 'cause I rolled
Okay.
a 6, I think.
Sarana.
I rolled an
7.
18. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sarana.
Yes, me.
So on a note.
As your family expanded into their home, you know, they have to carve out new dwellings inside the tunnels of mist. You've seen this metal before and heard talk of it. This is mithril.
Yeah, Archie, you have to take these. You have to take these.
What do you think I'm doing?
Why does he need to take them? What are they made of?
It is one of the most. I didn't think this was real. I'd never seen it. I read about it. It is the most rare thing, and it's really cool. Okay, you just take it.
Yeah, you don't have to tell
It's just
me.
really cool.
Okay.
Just don't break it, okay? It's really rare.
Oh, is it delicate?
Mithril is not. It is extremely lightweight and durable for its lack of weight.
It would be really silly if they made tools out of something that's very delicate. In my
Well,
opinion.
I mean, I've heard of things like, wands. They're made out of wood, right? You could snap it if you wanted to. I agree, though. I've had some, ceramic scalpels before. And they chipped in, a couple days.
That's not good.
Nope. I hope these ones won't. Very
I guess
excited
we'll
to
see.
use them, but I hope I don't have to use them on any of you, but I know that I will because we get hurt all the time.
Yeah, we really do.
Who wants to go get hurt some more?
There's another door over there.
Let's go.
Everybody looks to Finn.
Okay. I can open this one by myself. Oh, Deacon's going that way. Okay, I might need help with this one again.
You got it.
And will assist you. There we go. A stone slab takes up the center of this room. The slab's marble surface is stained by dried dark liquid and ash. Around the ceiling of the room are stones that hang down at an angle, and each of them bears a blackened sigil.
Isaac?
Anybody with Arcana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Give me a roll.
– 17.
What's that?
17.
17?
25?
Nice, man.
Jesus.
15.
15. Separate. They seem just disassociated. They don't seem to link or provide any kind of context, at least to Serana and Akira. However, to Finn, you're good with puzzles, and you begin to map each one's purpose and how they would link to each other. And you begin to see this intricate web of function. A function that was probably very violent in nature. Excruciating for anybody subjected to it. It seemed to drain or pull something from its target.
We probably shouldn't touch anything. This is an altar if I've ever seen one. People definitely died here.
Subtle.
Why would they need this?
We can assume it has something to do with the Everflame.
It's likely.
Do you feed it?
In what? Said they were extracting something. Oh, what?
I can't tell. I mean, they bled him out, but...
The draw that you see in the pattern is not physical. it looks like the pattern would fixate on the essence of something.
I could assume the soul or some sort of energy, but I'm not that far studied.
Maybe it's the light within them.
I don't like this room.
Wonder they kept this vault secret.
Maybe we should shut this door too.
Think so. Once we're all out.
Yeah.
A hero will be one of the first ones out.
Sure.
She does not like it in there.
I am running after you.
Deacon and Kimberly just kind of watch you all rush out of the room. Okay, we go for a narc.
Don't go in there.
Don't, it's bad. Bad juju.
Bad. Bad vibes.
Well, speaking of bad vibes, I think we've got everything explored. It's time to find out what, how, fire.
We never did find the supposed corresponding stick for that golem in the room with the Everflame. I don't know, maybe it works a different way.
Or no, maybe we did find the stick. One of them was numbered, while all the rest were letters.
No, it's opposite. The golem in the Everflame room was lettered, but all of the rods that you found were numbered.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe we could run by those notes again.
I
Maybe.
don't think we have another choice. See if we can
Okay.
do it better as a tag team.
All right. So you're going back to the office then?
Yes, the one with
Okay.
that was covered. Were the notes inside the same room as the Everflame, or the room just up beyond it?
Just beyond. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Transporting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, I don't even remember where it is.
Scotty, beam me up.
There you go. I can't do an accurate like Star Trek teleporter sound. It's very harmonic. You arrive once again in the office with its scrolls and notes displayed out.
All right, let's get started. I'm gonna start trying to sort papers based
Okay.
on topic. Make it easier for, and like just assist Finn in translating wherever she needs.
Okay. I am gonna need a thievery, because handling the papers and scrolls is gonna take an extreme amount of delicate finesse to keep it from falling apart.
10.
I don't know if it's what you want to use your hero point for, but you
That
can
is
get-
true. I have full hero points, so hero point 18.
Okay.
Nice.
Being a medical practitioner, you've got a steady hand. Even despite your 30,000 years in a ice cube that has deteriorated your body, and you put on some gloves, and carefully lift pages, maybe even use a tool to carefully unpeel the page and look at the writings, and begin to translate. So this, I'm gonna need a check from each of you. Let's see, what would be useful in this situation? Let's go with So from Finn, I'll need Arcana. From Archie, I will need, let's say, Society.
Please be nice.
Okay.
Is that a pretty dismal one for you?
Yeah, I do have Underworld lore and Snowfield's Black Market lore. But I remember when we were creating Archie, there wasn't really a Gipty lore option.
Use your Underworld lore for the Gipty lore. Yeah.
Cool.
With an 11, that makes dirty 20.
Nice.
With a natural 1 and a hero point, turns it into a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
For a 26.
All right. So between the two of you, you kind of bend your heads over the various notes, and the rest of the group kind of like just finds places to hang out for the time being. Because this is going to take a little bit. It takes about at least an hour because of the careful handling that is involved. But you begin to piece together, first of all, that these notes belong to Rhett. That he was the lead researcher, if they could be called that back in your time. And the pieces of the puzzle begin to fall into place. That they were creating an army to be able to combat the hordes of elementals and fire-related creatures under Bios's command. So they needed something that could withstand fire. Enter the golems. But in order to get a foundational knowledge of how to create their golems to resist flame, they needed to understand flame itself. So they had elementals and fire creatures of all sorts captured, brought here, experimented on, and the Everflame is the result of experiments to find that essence of flame within each of these creatures.
This is starting to make sense. Know what each of the rooms was for now. Got a room to remove this fire essence. We've got a room to store the golems that they were creating. Got a room to store the creatures that were captured. Got a room to test the results.
But how did they intend on moving the flame?
It's literally the one detail we can't find it. Keep going.
The discovery of the Everflame in the notes was a breakthrough, for sure. And it led to the one of the golem's special abilities is that flame can regenerate them. But as far as what the Everflame was for, that is never mentioned. Beyond its application in creating these resistances and immunities for their golems. It is hypothesized, however, that the Everflame will literally burn forever. And if put into contact with a structure, per se, that it would consume it without end, without ever being have its thirst quenched or hunger quenched for. And then it might even continue beyond its initial target.
You can't let anything touch it. Maybe the weapon we're really here for isn't the Everflame. Maybe it's that golem. Together, I think that's the creation they were working toward. A golem that regenerates constantly, forever.
That makes sense.
Like a war machine of some kind.
It was war times. I think they got all of the fiery elementals and hellhounds, and that was Vios's forces.
But it looks like the golem never left. Sir Frost and Red are banking on a hypothesis.
They had to. When the glacier, the Facite, appeared, froze everything from here to the capital. They obviously weren't done. But at that time, most of the Empire had already fallen.
We can't just take a golem out unnoticed.
Here to notice, no one's going to miss it. Probably the only person that knows about this is Rhett.
Rhett wants the Everflame, right?
Subject of his research.
Why does he want it?
If I had to guess, to continue his work. He knows its value.
Do you think he'd use it?
I think he's the one of maybe the only person that can use it. I think if he pushed into the wrong corner, he would.
Bios isn't dead, so
Research might still be needed, you're saying?
Yeah.
I'd rather see
I
it.
don't like this thing.
No.
No.
No, it's. But the vault is open. This thing's back in the world. We have an opportunity to choose what happens to it. Destroying it doesn't appear to be an option in the research we've uncovered. I'd much rather have it in the hands of someone who understands it and knew that this sort of precaution needed to be taken.
Are you suggesting we give it to Red?
I don't see another option.
See, that's what I was saying. We can't just walk out with it. We'd have to go back to the dugout, right?
Did you find anything about how they moved this thing? How they used it, how they activated that, or anything about that specific golem?
In your translation, or translating of the text, you do come across a Gipti word, Hollis, which you just kind of automatically translated and didn't think about it. But when you think back to it, it means master.
Hang on. Let me reread this bit.
Talks about the creation of a master golem. Kind of a prototype, but with all the extra bells and whistles.
Do I get the sense that it was the master of the golem army or the master of the Everflame?
Just like
Or like the pinnacle of their creations?
the kind of the pinnacle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like when you create something, you're gonna have a master. I'm trying to think of
Like
how
the Master Ball in Pokemon.
Yes, but no. I'm trying to think in terms not IT, because that's where my context is. Because you're gonna have a master server that, yes, is kind of central to all of them, but or better than. Yes, but it is supposedly more advanced than the ones that you saw on the floor.
With any luck, that means it won't fall apart when we activate it.
But we still don't have the thing to activate it with. We never found the corresponding, yeah.
Let me see if I can look for a hiding place in here or a mention of where it was stored in the notes.
So I will let you know what I rolled for your perception. That is a natural 20. You do find a sketch, kind of like a design sketch for the control rod, as it's labeled, the master control rod. And I think that there's a level of, or there's at first a level of recognition, then maybe of, I don't know how you feel about this. I'm gonna let you narrate that. But this rod, yay long, with stones and capped with a bird sculpture.
Sculpture.
I.e.,
something we've seen before.
The very thing that Smiley wanted you to steal.
The control rod has been excavated.
So are you saying we have to go back up and then come back?
Yes. How long have
We
been
need
down
these
here?
things.
At this point, about 20, close to 36 hours.
So how many? So there's like 4.5.
4.5 days. Yeah.
This is going to cut it close.
More like 5.5. Yeah.
Where did he say?
Oh, then it hasn't changed.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Where did he say to look for it?
This was... I know exactly where this thing is. This was excavated and is now... Correct me if I'm wrong. It's on the surface now?
Yes. It's in the cultural center, i.e., kind of a museum of Gipti artifacts, topside.
So we need something that's topside that someone wants you, Archie, to get for them, but we need it in order to get the Everflame, which Rhett wants. But we also might need to use it in order to stabilize the rift so that the world doesn't end. And all of that is also because we're here under Sir Frost's orders. There's a lot of people that want the things that we need to do things.
We need to be careful.
This is a lot.
It
And
is.
also, we probably shouldn't. We can't. We all need to go together. But if we leave, who's to say no one's gonna sneak in here?
I also
That
remembered a
lock.
detail.
This is a vault. There's only
We could.
this many people that know how to get in.
I have some concerns now.
How many?
What, Finn?
So I was hoping that maybe, academia could help us here, and the collector was kind of threatened over artifacts? Something.
Who's
But
the
wait, no,
collector?
they're hesitant.
Ah.
Wait, no, but the dig site's for somewhere else.
Yeah, I thought we decided that was somewhere else. That wasn't close by.
That was on the dugout west.
I'm just making sure that these people aren't also looking for the same thing. That'd be a doozy.
I think it's safe to work under the assumption that only people that know about the Everflame are the four of us, Sir Frost, Simon, Rhett. And of those people, we're the only ones that have ever actually gone down into the Facite. Sorry, not the four, the six of us. Looking at Kimberly and Deacon. So, I
They
think
just kind of like, we're just hired help.
not anymore. You're not.
You know too much. You're part of this
What
now.
does that mean? You're not gonna
You-
like kill us or something?
No, no. I was just saying that you're like part of this now. You know a lot. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant at all. I'm gonna stop talking now.
But that does mean we're in danger now.
You're really sorry?
I promised my help, so it's okay. We're in this together.
Yes, we are. Okay. Plan. We have two options. We can ignore the Everflame, lock this up, come deal with it later, and go deal with the rift first. I don't like that. Only other path forward to take the job that Smiley Lockwood offered. Get the rod, use it ourselves, then seal the then figure things out from there once the world's not impending doom.
That seems like our best, but kind of also our worst option, but better than the other one.
Do you think Red and or the museum would, I don't know, take kindly to what do we say?
The less people know about this, the better.
We're not telling anyone about anything. We're going to need to steal that rod.
I suppose that makes sense.
Serana, did I tell the collector that the world is ending?
No.
Okay. I hope I didn't.
No, I don't think so. Did we have that information? We did have that information by the time we got there.
I rambled on about Nemesis, and I just want to make sure that he's not part of this.
No, I don't think he said anything along the lines of the world is ending. He just said we had a very powerful enemy, and that was it. And then he made the conjunction of maybe they're not as powerful as we think they are, and yeah.
Which I still don't quite understand.
We're wasting time by
that it
standing here.
matters.
We have to make a choice. We're running out of time.
We need to lock this up and come back later.
I don't know about leaving a apocalyptic weapon just kind of like, in a safe.
I mean, it's been
if
here
you
all
want
this
to try to
time.
pocket it, be my guest.
I mean, we got that device or whatever, right?
He holds up his half.
Oh, you mean this thing? And I'll hold up the other half.
But if you were to
You
get
think-
close to the Everflame, that would... Y'all might not be able to harness it without at least getting really, really hurt. Like burned again. Again with the walking into fire, Deacon.
I know it's coming to habit. I promise I'm gonna break it after this. But we just like contain it and take it with us.
No.
I thought the golem was needed for that.
I mean, you're the brains of the operation. I just
You might be onto something. And Archie will start to look around for schematics of these two hemispheres that look like they're designed to contain it. Trying to figure out if that's what they're for and if the golem is actually needed, or if we could just...
Not to let your natural 20 for perception go to waste. You do find a scroll that, when you carefully lay it out, Finn, with your crafting knowledge, engineering, architecture, that kind of stuff, it looks like this device could be used to transport it. It is it's almost like aluminum. It doesn't hold heat, but it's sturdy enough that it will encapsulate and lock into place and contain whatever energy source is inside.
Well, Deacon is onto something, but we can't have anyone get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, we're walking pretty close to a baby son, so we're probably gonna get a little cooked if we try this. Shame that we don't have any, like, fire resistance magic or something.
We do.
We do?
Well, Hira's wearing one of them.
Oh.
I'll point to the
You
medallion.
have the other. Remember? Didn't we give
I
him
remember
the...
getting a fire resistance potion of some sort.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
trying
Right-
to remember
right there.
I
who has it.
forgot about that. Because you told me not to use it, like, willy-nilly.
So does
Oh,
that mean
And
I
this is
should
why.
be one of the people to...
No. No. We are not going to ask you to do that.
Okay. Does somebody else want the medallion then?
That was my thought. I had offered to do it, but I don't know if I'm tall enough to reach the Everfire.
Eyes turn to Serana.
Okay.
Are you sure, Serana? I don't feel like it's fair to ask this of you.
No, I can do it.
I will
Should I do it
hand...
fast so that I don't change my mind.
I'll hand the medallion
Yeah.
over to Serana.
I'll put it around my neck.
You got this. Come on, let's go, team.
Remind me what the is it resistance to fire? Consistent fire
Yeah.
damage? Persistent fire
Yeah,
damage?
it's
Yeah.
resistance 2. So any fire damage you take will be reduced by 2. It's not much, but it's something.
It helps.
Yes.
It really does.
And let's see. Fire resistance is equal half your level. Oh no, that's something else. Looking for items. Looking for items. All right. Well, actually, if we are going to make this attempt to capture the Everflame, let's go ahead and take a break, and then we can come back and see how Serana and Deacon fare. Thank you all for watching. Sarana. Deacon quaffs the fire resistance potion.
Ooh. Nice cooling, tingling sensation.
Be careful,
Yes.
please.
Please.
Before we start, I have a question.
I may have an answer.
It's not really a question, it's more of a statement. I'd like to establish lifelink with him.
Okay.
So that if I fall, that at least he still has some hope left.
Well, you realize that by establishing the lifelink, you're subjecting yourself to even more damage.
Oh, this is true.
Here.
Shh, can't do that.
That's a good idea. Allow me, and I will establish lifelink with Deacon instead.
Oh, thanks, good. Thanks, good.
Alright. Are you sure you don't want that, Sarana?
Oh, no. No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, then, any further objections?
No?
The silence has it.
He has his half of the mechanism. And I assume, Archie, you'll pass yours over to Sarana.
Yep. Be careful. Good luck.
Please be careful. As careful as you can.
Deacon nods and begins to walk forward toward the Everflame as it floats above its magical ring emblazoned on the floor.
Well, that's uncomfortable. But, well, that potion's definitely doing its work.
First ring. Surrounding, give me a fortitude save, please.
Ooh. That is a 21.
Okay. So you'll take half of 7 fire damage, and then minus your 2 resistance.
So, 2?
So, damage of 3 minus 2 is 1, which then I believe goes to Archie.
Yep.
So, you feel the damage, the heat blistering your skin, which just suddenly heals over. Archie, in response, your skin begins to blister like you've had a really bad sunburn. Deacon winces uncomfortably. He does take a little bit of damage, but he's been burned all day, so whatever. And he's gonna step forward again. Second fortitude.
I thought Archie put that on Deacon.
Oh, that's right. I did put it on.
Oh, that's right, you did. So you would take 2 instead of 1.
And Sarana takes one.
And Sarana would take 1.
22.
Again, you take half as you just naturally resist these waves of heat that are crashing over you. 15, so half of 15, again, -2. Deacon is going to take 10. So, and 4 of that is going to you, correct?
3.
3, okay.
The Deacon takes 7.
Oh, that's uncomfortable. Oh, that hurts.
And he's gonna step up adjacent and work his way around the flame.
At this point, can I, since I'm like peeking in to keep the lifelink on Deacon, can I cast Forbidding Ward on Serana?
Does that improve saves?
Yes.
Okay, yes, then absolutely.
Perfect.
And you said half of 15, which is what?
That would be 7. Actually, well, 8 technically. So you would take 6. Yep. As the fire star that you're wearing just grows brighter and brighter in the presence of the flame. All right. Last one.
It gets one better every single time. 23.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh, wait, hold on. Archie, what's Forbidding Ward? Is it plus...
Plus 1.
1?
Who saves against the Everfire.
24 then, which is not gonna do much else. It's not critical,
No,
but...
no. What's your fortitude? Oh, that's right. You already rolled it for 24. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
Well, luckily Deacon rolled better this time, because he'd been rolling pretty dismally. So the damage would be 21. So half of that is 11. So -5, so 6 damage to Deacon and 9 damage to Serana.
3 damage to Deacon, 3 to Archie.
Okay. Oh, no. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yep. So 3. His skin by now is just like turning a dark brown as it just from all the burns, and yeah, it's he's looking pretty bad. All right.
Now that they're like right up next to it,
Mhm.
I want to hit Deacon with a 2-action heal
Ooh, very good.
because he's looking not great.
He is
now
not.
44. He heals 12. And I have 1 spell slot left.
All right. Those scars and burns fade a little. Everything that he's taken so far just kind of like sloughs off like extra skin. And he positions himself with the contraption between him and the Everflame, and watches Serana to mirror him.
she'll do it, but she is in an immense amount of pain. So her eyes are very, very white, and her face is just kind of in a panic, like it's just frozen in panic.
We're almost there. We've got this. Just follow my lead. Same time. 1, 2, 3.
And he shoves his half of the device forward. You will as well. Give me an attack roll. Melee attack roll.
Okay. That is a 24.
Yes!
There we go.
I love it.
Read, I promise it's fine.
The pieces interlock with a little fumbling, but it shifts, locks, and as the pieces meet, sigils begin to line themselves along the sphere's surface, and the seams in the metal begin to melt away as if it were just one solid orb. And as the sigils complete their work and the glyphs fade from the surface, the heat falls away. The magic circle beneath you goes dormant.
No turning back now.
Oh. That was exciting.
That's one way to put it.
Serana,
Huh?
you don't look so good.
Yes, Deacon, take it. Serana, come sit down.
Okay, and she's just gonna kind of slump over against the wall.
Deacon takes this huge sphere and starts toward the group.
Is it heavy? I'm sorry. I can get up. I can help. It's fine.
No,
You're
it's
sitting right here.
kind of no heavier than a nice heavy kettlebell, but all good.
Okay.
He kind of like shoulders it like Atlas, like and he starts toward the group. That's when a different set of sigils begin to light up. Glyphs.
As I'm starting to wrap Serana's burns, treatment wounds, but before.
Are you down near where she is?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I interrupted to clarify.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ahira, you'll notice it as the other three are occupied, and Finn, unfortunately, you didn't roll high enough. The glyphs and sigils on the golem begin to alight.
Hey y'all, the golem it's lighting up. The glyphs on it they're happening. I don't know what it means, but y'all need to be aware that it might be waking up.
Its eyes spark to blue light. and its head turns to Deacon.
Oh no.
I'm gonna need initiatives, please.
Oh no.
Okay, I don't know what it is. I keep rolling 17s.
Hey, you know what? That's okay.
I just rolled one too.
What did I roll?
Oh boy. Time to buckle in, kiddos.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Problem.
All right, Serana.
24.
Perfect. Archie?
16.
Ahira?
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Finn?
26.
Nice.
I'm okay with being the only person
Kimberly.
under 20.
Well, Kimberly is a little slow on the uptake and is only at a 14. Let's see if Deacon takes any notice. He does not.
Uh-oh. Of course he doesn't.
Got some sweet, sweet battle music for us? There it is. As if on cue. I love it. Finn, you notice the danger first. You go.
Crossbows stay loaded, right? If I just like,
Yeah. I
already
mean,
shove-
we're not gonna like blear that little point, yeah.
So devise a stratagem is usually to hit, but my first thought would be, I don't want, we don't want to destroy this thing. Is there a hole in it that is orb sized?
Looking for a weakness, essentially.
I guess I could do, what is it, recall knowledge on devise a stratagem? I know what this, where is it? Or does it say that I can use recall knowledge?
Ooh.
Known weakness.
Yes.
If
There
I
you go.
critically succeed, I notice a weakness and get a +1 circumstance bonus.
There you go.
But I don't want to attack it. But if I convey this information, I have to critically succeed, but... Okay,
What you want to do? Time's running out.
let's devise, because it's a +9 with my intelligence, so... Come on. It's a nat 1. Are you kidding me?
That's a sad face. So, I mean, you do have a hero point for the session if you would like to use it.
I do, yeah, I want to use that.
And as a reminder to our wonderful audience, you can spend your collected influence points to grant our heroes more influence points to aid them in an attack or save, or even give them temporary hit points.
You might need it soon.
Anything better. Anything
I'm
better.
gonna need it. Real good.
That's a 2!
No!
It's an 11!
Your apprehension about harming this piece of art and master craftsmanship just gets in the way of your aim, and you end up going wide. Now, were you using a regular bolt or a freezing bolt?
Regular.
Okay, alright. It plunks into the cobblestone behind it and shatters. Saran, you are on the floor being treated when you see the golem begin to move.
Okay. I don't know what to do. And so she's just gonna like, I think her plan right now is to casts Bane on this guy very weakly with her. She's just gonna like hold up her hand and be like, ah. If I remember correctly. I gotta remember the spell. Okay, it is will save DC 16.
Okay. 16, it saves.
I like to imagine as Serana slowly casts a spell, Archie, who hasn't noticed yet, knows, stop moving, and just swats her hand back down.
Well, I also realize it's somatic, so she would be saying things too, like, you don't want to do this. This is a bad idea.
Of course I want to heal you. What are you talking about?
Not you, Archie, the big guy.
What?
Archie, you have received a hero point from our wonderful regular Slayer of All. Thank you so much.
Dennis, yes.
Yes.
All right. So it is. So on a success, it does not get Bane, correct? Or no, it only lasts for like a round, doesn't it?
It lasts. So on a success, it. Oh no, here. Must succeed or take a -1 penalty to attack rolls in that area. Once per turn, starting the turn after you cast Bane, you can use a single action to concentrate. No, it doesn't say.
Okay. All right. So then it succeeds, and we will go ahead and move on. Then, it ignores your protestations and heads for Deacon. It takes a heavy metal step toward, grabs the orb, and backhands Deacon for 18 bludgeoning. And that is its turn.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
How much? That's so much.
All right,
That's
one
so
round of
many.
combat. Here we go. Taking this thing down right away.
Akira.
Yeah. Hang on. Figuring out where I'm gonna move. Alright, I'm gonna move to here, I think. I think that was the amount. My full movement. No, I can move one more. Sorry. I'm gonna move there. Is it? Well, I'll roll first and then I'll ask. I would like to try and use needle and thread and spell strike to hit this thing with my needle spear.
Okay.
Using shocking grasp.
Shocking
With
grasp.
my
Got it.
last spell slot. So hang on. Alright. Come on. Ooh, no. I'm gonna use my hero point to try and roll better. Because that was gonna be a 14 total. And I don't think that that's gonna do it.
No.
Oh, yes. Okay, so that's a 17. 24 to hit.
Yes.
That just does it.
Just?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
Is it made of metal? Please tell me it's
It
made of
is.
metal.
It's made of bronze.
Okay.
Yes.
I get to do more damage. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Hang on. That's the wrong spell. Sorry, I have way too many spells open, apparently. I'm trying to find it again. Okay, there it is. So 2d12 electricity damage, and then it's made of metal, so I would have gained a +1 circumstance bonus to my attack roll, so bump it up to a 25, I guess. And the target also takes 1d4 persistent electricity damage. So I will roll for those things.
It's still, or does it get a save, or it just takes that damage, right? Okay. All right.
Nope.
That's right, because it's an attack roll. All right, cool.
Nope.
All right.
It does not get
No,
to do
that's-
shit.
Yeah, that's all right. All right. So, how much damage was that total? 25?
Oh,
From-
hang on.
well-
I haven't rolled yet.
I need
I'm
to
rolling
know
for it.
separately, like what's weapon and what's the magic.
I'm rolling all of that currently.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Sorry, I was just trying to. Yeah. And then with my spear, hang on. Okay. Where is it? D6. Where are my dice? Okay, so with my needle spear, it's 2 damage. That, unfortunately. And then for electricity damage, just the straight damage from the roll. I can do basic math.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 23 damage, and then it's 2 persistent electricity damage.
Okay. All right. So I'm sorry. What was the total electricity damage? I apologize.
25, but 2 of
25?
that's persistent.
Okay. And then, what was your weapon damage?
2,
Okay.
I think this is good.
unfortunately.
I get the distinct feeling that this thing is resistant to weapon damage, but not electricity and magic and stuff.
Well, the needle pierces between a couple of the plates in its form. Causes no physical harm to any of it. Like the plates seem to just a little scratch, maybe. As the electricity courses into it, some of it is muted. However, the golem begins to twitch erratically and becomes sluggish.
Okay.
Whatever you did, keep doing it.
I don't think I can do that again.
All right. Serana, is that all for you? That was 2 actions, and then what? Do you have
I
a third?
moved.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so that is your turn, Ahira. Then we move on to Archie.
Archie is going to treat wounds on Serana, quickly finish up bandaging everything, and I'm going to... Serana is looking very not good. How very not good?
Just 13 out of 39.
Okay,
It's not
No, a third?
that bad.
okay. As long as it's not like 2.
No, I wouldn't be speaking. I would not be speaking. No. I'm just a little delusional. It's fine.
So Archie's going to treat wounds at expert. So DC he needs is 20. risky.
Very risky.
Please don't chop my arm off.
Yes. 14 on the die plus 8 is 22.
22. Yay,
So
yeah.
you heal 2d8 plus 10. So total of 20.
Okay! Serana is up and ready to go.
Yep. And Archie just like without even taking a breath. What treat wounds is a combat action for me. I'm looking at battle medicine.
You said 20 straight up. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay.
2-0.
I am almost full.
Nice.
It doesn't say how many. Oh no, a single action for battle.
It is a
medicine.
single action. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
But
turn around
that-
and
That individual is immune for 1 day.
right.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna turn around and do the exact same thing to Deacon.
Okay.
I have done treat wounds on him already since we've been in.
But did you use battle medicine?
I did not use
'Cause-
battle medicine.
Okay, so it has been over an hour since then.
Okay. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Expert treat wounds.
All right.
That's a 5. I'm using a hero point.
Okay. Thank you, Slayer.
Can I use another hero point?
Yeah.
Because I really don't want Deacon to die. He can't take another hit. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
risk it.
right.
I'm going to use both my hero points, try to get above 20 for this.
Do it.
19.
Oh no! So close. So close.
Nope, didn't work.
You kind of fumble with the bandages, and as Deacon is still reeling from that punch, you just, can't quite get him steadied.
I'm going to, at this point, run over to Kimberly and George.
Okay.
Run.
Kimberly begins to recite an epic poem. Forgive me that I don't have one on hand, but one that she hopes will inspire courage in her fellows.
Subtle.
Yeah, thanks. Right. Yeah. Let's see. And everybody's gonna get a little bit of a wake up. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I already created a thing for that. All right, cool. All right. See, I automated some of my macros earlier, and I'm just remembering how to use them. All right. And then she is going to load her crossbow and take a shot, because what else she got to do? Nope. All right. Deacon. What is Deacon doing?
Oh, that's right. Deacon.
I'm like,
is going to.
Deacon! It sounds like such a really. Come on, Deacon Buddy.
He would not. He would try to draw this thing's fire despite his injured state. And that's not just because he's an NPC right now.
So maybe an intimidation?
That would be a single action, yeah?
Yep.
So he'll attack twice and then intimidation.
Okay.
First attack. 18.
Nope.
Second attack. 8. I think that's a natural one. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Deacon draws his greatsword and swings a couple of heavy-handed attacks at the golem, and nearly loses his sword in that second swing. He's feeling the effects of all the damage he's taken today.
For intimidation, he's gonna sort of like take his sword and or both of his hands, sword still in one of them, just try to shove this thing. He ends up bouncing off of it, but then he just yells as loud as he can. And intimidation is a 17.
The golem just stares at him impassively.
Poor Deacon.
I'm trying to draw its fire away from Deacon. I don't know that that's a good idea. That's a hero's goal.
All right, we are back up to the top with Finn.
Did a hero's needle lodge into...
It did.
It's still in there.
Okay, so, after
I haven't pulled it
panicking,
back.
Finn's first action, she's gonna take a breath and notch one of the frost arrows into the crossbow.
Okay.
Gotta roll to devise a stratagem again. Please. 12 plus 9.
So 21.
21.
That will not hit.
But it'll freeze the ground. Maybe.
All right, yeah, I'll give that to you. Give me a D8.
Two.
All right, it is going to land in the square right in front of Deacon.
No.
And the ice shoots out along the floor as it coats it and makes it slippery.
It's a reflex, right?
Yes.
No, Deacon.
Deacon gets a 26.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
The golem is unperturbed. As best as you can tell from its emotionless features. Anything else, Finn?
Well, it's not shared stratagem, but I was gonna yell to Ahira, pull! Worth a shot.
Just recommending that you pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Just making sure that the message was coming across. All right, Serana.
Okay. I'm gonna move behind it. And I'm gonna start whacking it.
I
Okay.
think you could get flanking if you move a little bit further, right?
I don't get flanking. That's not a thing for
Oh,
me.
okay.
That is a thing for Deacon.
You can get
and
flanking.
I can?
Yeah.
I thought that was
If
a
you
thing
mo-
for me.
No. That's only attacks of opportunity. Everybody can get flanking.
Ooh, okay, what is flanking?
So it's essentially a -2 to their AC.
Okay.
Which is helpful, because this thing's AC. I barely hit it with a 24, 23?
Yeah, it's
24.
considered flat-footed to you and Deacon. 24?
Okay. Okay, so I am going to.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done it yet. That's no.
Yeah. Go for it.
Nope. We are using a hero point for that. Nope.
A 22 wouldn't have hit.
Well, for Serana it would.
Neither would a freaking 11. Uh, 21, which is one less than it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Inspire
You
courage.
do have Inspire Courage.
I do!
Wait, that's +1?
That's +1.
Yes, it is. It's +1.
Because I forgot Inspire Courage.
Oh!
Yes.
Thank you,
Kimberly, queen of my life.
So,
Okay.
roll your damage.
Okay, that is D8 plus 2. That's 3. And there's no way that I am going to attempt to attack again because of how high this guy's AC is. Well, you know what? No, I
Go for
can.
it. Yeah?
It's -5, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What are you hitting with?
My staff.
Okay, alright. So,
He's a giant fire pinata.
well, this pinata is made of metal, so when you strike at it the first time, you hit very solidly, but the vibration from the reverb, recoil, that's what I was looking for, just like rattle your bones, like it hurt. It hurt you more than it probably hurt it.
I'm gonna try whacking it again and then probably eventually learn.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that one's not gonna do it.
Okay. Alright, then we are going to move on to the golem. It holds the essentially what's the size of a beach ball, this orb in front of it as it begins to move toward the door, still twitching and jerky, so it's not making great progress. I am gonna give it a roll on that ice. What was your DC? Finn, for the ice?
I rolled a 21. I think it was a 22 with Kimberly's help.
No, the ice has,
The ice has a DC?
yes.
Yeah, it should be part of the item.
I think it's your class DC. What's your class DC? Freeze
19?
bolt.
I wasn't aware there was a...
Freezing bolt? Freezing ammunition. There we go. Let's see. Target must succeed. Oh, then what am I looking at?
You rolled for the Hellhounds when they were
Yeah.
slipping.
Yes, yeah, I'm rolling their save. I was trying to figure out what the DC was. But we will use your class DC. What's your class DC, sorry?
19.
19? It does. Yeah, it fails.
Yes. Whispers
It
roar.
starts into the next square and promptly falls down. Falls to a knee, I'm gonna say. Not like completely prone. It's prone for all intents and purposes, but it's not like laying on its back there. Oh man, somehow I missed that one. All right. It's going to climb to its feet and try again. Oh wait, it can't. That is its 2 actions. So there it is, because it is slowed currently. It does not take any further damage, as the persistent damage is not enough to overcome its resistances.
How does it still electricity if it's made of metal?
How did it what? Electricity?
How does it have resistance? Because the persistent damage is electricity damage.
Mhm.
Persistent electricity damage, and it's made of metal. So I'm just frustrated with this thing and questioning
It's still
how it
slowed.
can have a resistance. Yeah, but that's-
It's got a magic resistance, if you should know.
fucker. I hate this thing. It's fine.
All right, Ahira, you're up.
It's back on its feet. I'm gonna try and trip it because my needle. Oh no, I'm gonna go into Arcane Cascade first.
Okay, good. All right.
And then I'm going to try and trip it,
Okay.
which I think. What do I roll for that? Jeez.
That is an athletics.
Gotcha. All right, let's. Jeez. Sorry, my computer's fighting me right now.
Behave, computer.
23.
Nope. You give it a hard yank, and nothing happens. Your needle remains lodged, but it shrugs off your attempts to pull it down.
I don't want to step into the ice. It's resistant to magic.
You get one more action.
I know, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Can I try and trip it again? Is that an option?
You can, but it's at -5. Because it is considered an attack.
I don't know if I can really do anything besides that, honestly. Yeah, that's 2 actions. I can't do that. Oh my goodness.
Ten.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try and trip it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right.
I rolled a 4.
I'm
So-
sorry, Hera. Yeah. Archie.
Okay. This is rough. This is
Super rough.
real rough.
Super rough.
I'm still looking through my sheet, and I have so very little things to do to stop this thing. I'm going to try to daze it. Cantrip. Makes a will save DC 17.
What are the traits of that spell?
Question.
So you said daze?
Days. Intermission.
Traits include cantrip, enchantment, mental, non-lethal.
Oh, so it won't work on construct because it's mental.
Correct.
Gross. I don't have, like, attacks, period. I have a dagger. I will... This is stupid. I'm gonna cast Forbidding Ward on myself. I'm gonna run up right in front of it, and I'm just gonna kind of go arms out and go... trying to stop the thing, but it's this tiny little guy trying to stop this 10-foot tall mech.
It's just a little guy. It's just
a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Then we will move on to Kimberly, who's going to keep up the inspired courage. Maybe we can hold it from, or lock the door. And she runs for the door, pulls out her own set of theasels and fumbles with them, unable to get the door locked. George is gonna take a clue from everybody scrambling, and he zips across the room, trailing an electrified thread. Close to the ground, granted, but perhaps it'll do something.
Way to go, George.
I love George.
Alright, let's do... I gotta do purple. And we're going to... There we go. Alright.
After that's Finn, right?
Alright, yeah, yeah, we're back up to the top. Or no, Deacon. We have not done Deacon.
Deacon.
Who does his best to recover from the massive blow, and leaps up, trying to grab the... foregoing any attacks, is just gonna, like, try and grab the orb. And... Unless you want to roll for it.
Sure. What am I rolling?
Roll in athletics.
Nope.
No.
16.
What else should Deacon do? Attempt.
He doesn't really have any special abilities. He just hits things and
Not that would be effective on a golem. He's got an intimidation thing, but yeah, that kind of.
Is this considered an attack?
Yes.
Right. Just because he doesn't have much else to do, he's going to... Ooh, he could try again with the wrestling the thing away.
Okay.
It's worse. And then moves to here and tries to create a wall
Okay.
of bodies
Awesome.
that this thing can't move through.
All right, we are back up to Finn.
I can still clearly see over Archie's head if I were to take a shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's kind of towering over him.
devise a stratagem first and try to recall knowledge again. Anything.
Okay.
That's a 3. 12.
From your limited knowledge of golems, at least the typical golems are completely immune to magic, and only adamantine weapons can really do any significant harm. But this does not seem to be on that level.
I'll help Kimberly lock the door.
Okay. Are you gonna try and lock the door? So that will be a thievery.
Ugh. Proficiency bonus to untrained is just... Wait, hold on. Proficiency bonus to untrained skill checks to recall knowledge. No, it's not recall knowledge. Just do it. Just do it. It's a flat 7. No.
Oh. Everybody's fumbling at the door. Yeah. Serana, you're up.
I would like to cast Augury.
Ooh, okay.
Which means I get to peek into the future.
Is that an action?
So,
It is.
Actually,
It might be all 3 of my actions. But it takes 10 minutes to cast. Fuck, I can't do it. Never mind. It's
I was
10
gonna
minutes to
say,
cast.
I think it's like a 10-minute cast, yeah.
It's a 10-minute cast. Damn it. That would have been so
So
good.
much.
So good. I should have done that earlier. Okay, well, I can't do that now. Okay, I'm just gonna stab it, I guess. So I can. Okay, what's the DC for the ice?
19.
Do it.
This could end poorly. Okay, I'm gonna step into the ice and get right next to it.
Okay.
And flank it.
Give me a reflex save, please.
Oh, wait, no, flanking would be behind it, right?
It would be right here. Or
Here.
right
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just go 1 step in.
Okay.
And you said reflex?
Yep.
I'm going to use my final hero point.
Oh
Because
boy.
that was a 3 on the die. Total of 9. You're going home. That is 18. 1 short.
yeah.
Inspire courage.
Inspire courage.
Oh my-
No,
Is it?
no.
Yeah. Isn't that
Inspire
saves
courage
too?
is only saves against fear.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Damn it.
You will fall prone.
Can I at least try to kick him on the way down?
I mean, you can hit from down there. You're just getting him at a -2.
Okay, cool. I would like to try to kick him, please.
Okay. All right.
Okay, what is my bonus for that? I don't even know what my unarmed bonus
What's your
is.
regular bonus?
All my melee bonuses are 7. Why don't I know this?
So your
This is
melee
nothing that I-
bonus is 7, so
Yeah.
+1 for inspired courage, -2 for being prone. So that puts you at 6.
Okay. That's a 16.
Okay. You're flailing uselessly at his ankles.
Just it's like wiggling on the ice.
Okay.
This is
Would you-
stupid. I hate it.
Oh, I am so sorry. I believe you get one more action. You want to stand up?
Yeah, I would like to attempt to stand up.
Okay, you can stand up. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. We will then move on to the golem, who's kind of like stares down at Archie, like Archie all splayed out, like Archie,
I don't
what
like
is
this.
your fortitude?
8.
The golem regards you for maybe half a second before it grabs your throat, lifts you up, and throws you 20 feet back. And Slash just walk off the thing, which it will succeed this time. And 5, 10, 15, 20.
I hate this thing so much.
That will remove that condition. And that is its turn. Archie, no, Hira, sorry.
Alright, I'm going to move to it.
Yep.
Pull my needle spear back.
Okay.
And then try to hit it with melee. So maybe I can do some damage.
Okay.
Um,
You do have your arcane cascade.
And flanking.
which is why I'm
And
trying
flanking,
to
yeah. Yeah, you're right.
use melee. Arcane cascade only helps with melee damage.
Right.
So that's why I'm making this choice. Alright. No.
No?
0 point.
No. I have none. I had one at the beginning of the session and I've already used it, so. Yeah, that's a 7 on the die, and I have a +6. Or a +7, I guess, with Inspire Courage. It'd still only be a 14, so. Well, I'm trying.
I know. Archie.
Okay. I'm going to, I didn't take any damage from that, did I?
No. It just grabbed you and threw you backwards.
Okay. I'm assuming positive damage isn't going to do anything against this guy. So none of my damaging cantrips work. And I have one spell slot left that I can use for... maybe I should. I'm going to summon Monotati again, but in the dog form. So as I reach up and like I wave my arm, and a window again appears in the middle of nowhere, and it shatters outward as a large dog bounds through it. And that's all 3 of my actions, but it gets to go.
Okay.
And it is going to start with holding up the guard dog stats. 8 hit points. And it is going to attack.
Okay.
And I think... No, it doesn't quite have to crit to hit, but it needs to get real good. 10 is not real good.
No.
And it's just gonna keep rolling away, hoping it gets a nat 20.
Okay.
Oh, that is a 18 minus 5 is 13, plus 6 is 19. Nope.
No.
And the third one. Wow. A 19 on the die, but with a minus 10, nothing.
No.
Okay.
All right.
That's it.
Kimberly, inspire courage, tries to take a deep breath. Okay, you can do this. Ooh. She steadies her hands, gets the picks into the lock, and wrenches it closed before stepping aside, not wanting to be in the path of that thing. All right, Deacon, what would Deacon like to do?
He's gonna move here for his first action. Does he have flanking right there?
No, not really.
Okay. Can he move here, or is that obstruction?
No, that's obstructed.
That's what I thought. Attacks.
Okay.
First one. Critical. Natural 20.
Nice.
Needed that real bad.
So
Total
bad.
of 26
All right.
slashing without the card.
Wait, let me check something. Okay, it is not immune to criticals.
Yes!
Oh, God. I'd be so mad if it was immune to
Yeah, I know, right?
Immune to lightning. It heals from fire. Immune to damage resistance 3 or 4.
Immune to magic. Super damages
Wow.
everything.
The target is knocked prone.
Nice.
There it is.
Yes!
So Deacon will take his great
And it's
sword
flank.
and as hard as he can just sweep both legs.
All right, so dealing 26 minus. Okay.
And then he's going to attack again.
Okay.
And 14, even as with
No.
prone, won't do it.
The sword comes down, but doesn't find any.
Ping.
Yep. All right. Good one, Deacon. Oh, he did get 1 extra damage on that because of Inspire Courage.
That's right.
All right. Back up to the top with Finn.
Okay. If I can recall knowledge as part of devising a stratagem, would there have been anything in those notes about what the golem is protecting, or just, I guess, trying to ask a more pointed question?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a recall knowledge. Crafting.
Okay.
Or Arcana, or one of the two, whichever is better for you.
Same bonus. Please behave. It depends on you. Is a 9 plus 9 is an 18.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a bonus because you did study those notes pretty extensively for a while. What are you looking for? Sorry, what was the question? I apologize. What was its purpose? Correct.
What is it protecting? Like,
Gotcha.
Was it activated?
The thing that you remember from the notes that you read indicate that these are not automatons. These are not things that can act of their own volition. Someone is controlling it.
With a +1 that still definitely doesn't hit. It's gonna run into the electric wire. What's in the room behind us? I wasn't in there.
If we had that.
I guess I could still aim at the ground with one of the frost arrows, right?
You could, yeah.
It's already prone, and I don't want to hit Archie.
Normal.
Yeah, there's
Sure.
a lot of us surrounding it.
So where are you gonna hit it?
Or can I just aim for like the ground in front of the door
Yeah, you can.
and just try to?
Either you or Kimberly will end up in the square. So that is up to you.
I'll aim it more towards myself.
Okay. All right. So you load the crossbow, you point it at the ground, and fire. The bolt shatters, and ice forms across in front of the door. I will need a reflex save for you to stay on your feet.
Try you instead. Reflex. 13.
Not quite enough. Your foot twitches and it sends both of them from under you. All right. That will bring us to Serana.
Okay. I would like to get off the ice.
Get off the ice!
Get off the grass.
Need a Zamboni gun in there.
Oh my god.
I do need a reflex save for you to get off the ice.
Ah, bless America. Hold on. $18.
No.
No,
19.
yeah, no, I still fell. I fell again.
Yeah.
Did you
Inspire
add
Courage doesn't
the
count for that.
one from Inspire Courage? You got one from Inspire Courage.
I don't get that one because it's not against fear.
It's +1
Oh.
against fear. Yeah.
So I fall again. I'm gonna stand back up and, and try to get off the ice again.
Okay. All right.
I have to keep rolling reflex saves until I get off the ice.
Worse.
No, that's a dirty 20.
Okay. All right. You managed to get off the ice, but that's practically all your actions.
Guys, I got it. I'm coming.
Good job!
All right.
I'll take my movement too, and then I'll just be done.
Golem stands. Which Deacon does get an attack of opportunity, by the way.
Nice.
Deacon has attack of opportunity. Amazing.
Yes, he's a
Like
fighter.
one of us does.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. And The golem sets its shoulder, and you see the plates just buckle against each other as it launches itself towards you. Makes a... That could have definitely been worse. What's your AC, Archie?
Probably not high enough. 19.
Okay, it's not a crit.
Haha, yay!
I need a fortitude save, please.
Natural 1.
No. You are thrown backwards as this thing just barrels into you. You hit the door behind, and let's see. We're gonna so you're gonna take 14. No, sorry, scratch that. 22 points of damage.
How funny. I have 14 left now.
Oof. And it's gonna stride forward. And that damn ice. It slips on the damn ice again.
Just slipped on
Good.
the damn ice.
Every time it comes to that ice, it rolls poorly on its DCs. Like,
Finn
Well,
has
maybe
been
it chilled out of
carrying
ice
this
skate.
whole battle.
oh, that's so great. All right, that's its turn. Ahira.
I'm gonna go after it again, I guess. I'm a little unclear. Do I still get Arcane Cascade?
Yep.
If I haven't done Spell Strike again?
Yep.
Hey, I'm gonna try and stab this bitch.
Do it.
Do it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's a 2 on the die.
Do it again.
Now I'm just thinking it's your dice. Because that dice tower is nice. I don't know.
Don't know what you want from me. I'm trying. Hang on just a second.
Sure.
No, it's fucking immune to magic.
Not immune.
Or has resistance against magic.
Yes.
I'm just gonna try and stab it again.
My strategy is just to roll as many times as I can against this thing and hope one of them's a 20.
Yep, that's just. Damn it! This is a 22, but it's -5.
Okay.
So I don't do anything to it. I just keep missing.
Question. The
Sure.
golem crossed George's lovely line of electricity.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it did.
That's...
I did too, but I was in the air.
Yeah, you were in the
Yeah.
air. Yeah, it's fine. You know. Let me see what
I have my
George's
clothes.
DC is. More like a range strike, so. Well, I'll be damned. It hit it.
Way to go,
Good.
George!
It strides
Yay,
across the
George.
electricity and falls on the ice. So it is now stunned, slowed, and takes some electricity damage that's negligible.
Does that change a hero's rolls?
No.
I don't know what the stun condition does. Because that's new.
So,
Yeah, I don't know what it does either. And it's flanked, right?
Yep.
Yes. So stunned, it just loses an action. And same with slow. So currently it's down to 1 action.
Yeah.
But it's prone and flanked. What do you... Because being prone... So, question. Does being prone and being flanked, like, both decrease AC separately? Or...
That is actually a good question. So, for being prone, it's actually the same penalty. So no, because you're essentially flat-footed to everybody instead of just your flankers.
That's frustrating. Okay.
That was its turn, right?
That was its turn. So.
Oh no, that was a hero's turn.
Well, no.
Yeah, that was a
it's
hero's.
my turn.
But,
Right.
Yeah. But that would lower its. Well, its AC would still be just 22. Originally it's 24, but because it's prone, it would be 22.
I
24.
Did you hit 22?
no, I had a 22, but I have -5. No, I'm just
Oh,
pissed
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
fucking AC is so high.
Uh,
Everything we fought in this damn vault has been insane. And it's kind of wearing like a hero. At least it hasn't hit me, because I'm pretty sure I'd die if it hits me.
Hey, bright side, it's not fire-based this time.
Oh, that's
That
true.
is true.
That is true. That is true. Archie, you're up.
I'm up.
Well, you're kind of
Hardly.
up.
Can I just play dead? I literally, there's nothing. The only thing I can do is that would do damage is stab it with my dagger, which is a D4 plus 2, which I don't think can get over its damage resistance. So, yeah, I'm just gonna.
You can move out of the way.
Yeah, I kind of need to move.
Body
out of the
chuck
way.
you again.
Yeah.
Please move out of the way.
Okay. I should probably do that. I will crawl into this corner over here. Do I
Okay.
need to make a check if I'm staying prone
If you're
and crawling?
crawling, no.
Amazing. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
leave the ice.
Okay.
And then I'm going to play dead over there while my dog does all the work. So Monotati will move up there, jump on top of that table, and make 2 attacks. First attack. Come on. 16 plus 6 is 22.
That will hit.
It
Yeah.
does 1d4 plus 1, plus an extra d4 if it's within reach of at least 2 of the dog's allies. And seeing as the dog is the 5th person in melee with it, I think that qualifies.
Okay.
Alright. No, big whammies. That's 4 plus 1 is 5 damage.
Nah.
Nope, doesn't get over its damage resistance.
No. The dog like attacks and grabs like one of the arms, but finds that it's going to break its teeth before it can break that metal.
Well, it knows that it's just a spirit, so it's going to attack again. And miss. Alright, that's me.
Great. Kimberly. Is like clutching her crossbow, looking very helpless. Is going to continue reciting the poem, so everybody still gets inspired courage. You know what? Why not? Draws a rapier and tries to stab it. And fumbles her rapier. Just kind of like tries to draw it, but her hands are shaking so bad that the rapier just kind of like leaps out of her hand. All right. Deacon.
Can Deacon get here? Get on top of this thing?
No, not really.
Monotati should have moved. Deacon also doesn't have any ranged capabilities. Deacon is going to go here. So, there. Move on to the ice.
Okay. Need a reflex save.
Deacon, reflex save. Come on. Big reflex save moment. With a 20.
Okay, all good?
Yes.
All good. And I assume a follow-up attack.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
24.
Yes.
13 damage.
God.
Yeah, these things getting kind of beat up a little bit.
And Deacon's
A
going to
little?
attack
Little?
again.
All right.
14.
Nothing on that one. Nope.
Okay, that's his turn.
Okay. Back up to the top with Finn.
So with her last recall knowledge check, I imagine she would have looked over at Archie, flying through the air at some point and been like, someone's controlling it! What do I do? I devise again.
Been George this whole time.
And it's just like rubbing his forelegs together, like
His little.
He doesn't even have thumbs.
Would
It's
that
just
make like a
with a
cricket
little
sound?
controller that like up down, left right, B A start.
I mean, other than devising
I know
a
how to
stratagem, I can take an action to seek. I mean, is there a range on these things?
That's not knowledge that you're privy to at this moment. It wasn't even really discussed in the notes.
We devise again. Please hit. 11 plus 9 plus 1, no.
Okay.
So close.
Okay, I'm not gonna load the crossbow. I just crawl up the ice.
Okay.
Because I fell down.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
All right.
Crawl. Stand up.
All right. Serana.
Okay, I'm gonna get closer. I'm kind of behind. not stepping on that freaking ice. Can I step over the electric line? Or do I need to...
No, it's already
see?
broken.
Oh, okay, cool.
Perfect.
Okay. Centering is hard. I don't want to step on the ice again.
You can do it.
Okay, you know what? I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try it one more time. Okay. That's a 17 plus 6.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And do the
Just
same
That
thing
is a
with
hit.
down the
Jenny.
ice and be like,
Or no, that was your reflex save, right?
that was my reflex save.
Okay, all right.
Now do that again on the die.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I would like to stab.
Stab, stabby stab.
What? Stab.
Okay.
Is that -5 because I did a reflex save, or is that
Nope,
still
nope.
just okay?
It's-
First attack, so it's not at a minus.
yeah.
That's a natural 1.
Ooh. That's a sad face.
And I have no hero points.
All out.
So
Welcome to my world.
Me too.
The golem stands up, but that is literally all it is able to do. Oh wait, can it be stunned? Yeah. Oh, it's slowed. It's fine. These markers.
We gotta raid into this madness.
Heroes and hooligans, welcome. We are
Save
at
us.
what might be the tail end of a combat. I am not sure.
At this point, it might be the tail end of the campaign.
Nah.
could be the tail end of me.
I would like to point out that while it has damaged a couple of you, it has not been aggressively trying to murder you.
That's true. It's just.
But it
does
still
not-
has the Everflame.
Are we just misunderstanding
does.
it, and it's just trying to go somewhere, and we should have just this whole time? Should we have used our words? We'll never know.
Hey, Joe, you get a hero point. Thank you so much, Slayer of All. All right, that is its only action this turn. So now it is to Ahira.
I'm gonna stab it. Try.
Stabby stab.
I don't know what else to do.
Just stab. Stab,
Yes.
stab, stab.
Abby, you got a hero point.
Oh, thank you.
It's from
Sorry, I'm
Stouffer.
not paying attention right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
That should hit.
What'd you get?
Yeah, 22.
22. That will. I'll allow
come
it.
on.
Honestly, I know.
If that's not
it's-
flanking.
Yeah, no.
It's not.
Honestly, rule of cool and all. Roll your damage.
Okay.
And
Well, actually, with Inspire Courage, it would be a 23.
okay.
I don't know if that changes
That doesn't
anything.
change anything.
I'm trying here.
Yeah, I know. I recognize that.
That'd be 8 damage, 8 piercing damage.
What about your arcane cascade? Oh, is that?
That's what makes it 8. So I have 1d6
Oh, okay.
plus 1, and then I only get a plus 1 because I'm only trained.
Oh, okay. You do 9 damage because of inspired courage, and you scratch the metal.
Oh no. This thing we've been fighting against damage resistance 8 this whole time.
Yep.
Ow. Okay.
Okay. Well, that was my first action.
Do you want to go again?
So,
Or
at a disadvantage? No, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I do think I'm gonna cast a spell on it, or well, a cantrip because I'm out of spell slots.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Electric Arc on it, which means I
Alright.
deal electricity damage to it. So let's
roll your damage. It's a save, correct?
I don't think so.
it's a save or an attack roll?
It doesn't say. An arc of lightning leaps from one target to another. You deal electricity damage equal to 1d4 plus spellcasting ability.
Up in the
Modifier.
top-
Basic reflex.
Basic reflex save. What is your DC?
What is my DC? 17.
Are you gonna hate me if I say it critically succeeded? And
Yes.
yeah, okay. I'm sorry. It critically succeeded. And therefore takes no damage as it grounds
Yeah.
out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's.
Alright.
That tracks.
Well, that's.
sorry.
I'm pretty sure that was 2 actions, so I don't think I can do anything else.
Archie.
Can I crawl under this obstacle?
Sure.
Yes! I'm going to crawl under this obstacle. Get out of the way so all the melee fighters can have their fun.
Okay.
And the dog is going to attempt to crit. Come on.
Do it.
It's a hit, not a crit though, with a 22 in flanking. So that's another 2d4.
I'm impressed that you've managed to slow it down for this long, honestly.
I know, right? This has been a lot.
That damn ice!
Nope. No damage. He actually needs to crit this thing to do any damage.
Okay.
So, he's going to try to crit it.
Okay.
Nope. No. Okay.
Alright. Moving along to Kimberly. Keeps up inspired courage. Picks up her rapier and tries again. And fails. Deacon.
Deacon. Big swings. Big swings.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, let me roll on here. First one. 30 to hit.
I mean, it's not a crit, but
Right.
that will hit.
That's 13 damage.
Okay.
The second one is a 24 to hit.
Oh, that damage, though.
Yeah. But no damage.
No damage.
And the third one is a 12.
Okay.
So he does 5 damage total. Yay.
Yup. If it
I
means
hate this
anything,
game so
if this
much.
means anything, he's halfway down.
Battle of attrition it is.
All right, back up to the top of Finn.
Does shouting or barking orders count as an action?
Not really.
Because
That would be a kind of a free action. Yeah.
the way Finn's looking at it, we have a second. It has to break down the door. Someone's controlling it. Who's controlling it? And I guess I'm gonna use. Okay, I just have to try it. I'm gonna use Seek with Perception.
I love your cheering section in the chat. It's fantastic. Sorry, Finn. Continue.
Because I don't know if there's a line of sight or anything. I have no idea. I'm just looking for. What?
Yeah, I would need an arcane recall knowledge.
Seek is perception. What's the Arcana for?
For understanding the link between the golem and the master.
Okay, yeah, good point. Please. Please. I beg of you. It's an 18. Plus Kimberly.
Plus Kimberly. That's gonna be a thing. Plus Kimberly.
And Peggy.
The individual, as is described in the manual, would have to have the master rod, the master control rod, and it can be done remotely. As in, you do not need to be in the vicinity. Yes.
I guess in response to that, she just kind of shouts, "It doesn't matter, we just need to figure out what it's going to do." And I have not explored this entire... so I don't know what's in there. Can I just ask somebody what's behind the door?
That's
well,
the room
as
where we
you-
spent
as-
the last couple hours.
Yeah, that's
all
the
the notes
office
in the
that
office.
you just came from. Beyond that was the foundry where they looks like they made the golems, or at least made the pieces of the golems. They were assembling the army up in the front.
I try to make the brain go, and the brain don't go.
Oh.
Just gonna stand there and keep thinking. Try to mind palace this.
Okay. All right. When you decide what you want to think of, you can give me a roll. But until then, we will go ahead and move on to Serana.
Okay. I am going to. I want to roll to see if I can better understand. You mentioned it's not actively attacking us.
Yep.
Can I roll to see if it would? I don't know. I feel like maybe I could just make this action. I would like to just stop fighting it. We have the door jammed. It can't get through just yet. We have a minute. We could talk about what's possible because I don't think it's going to go any faster. It's stuck on the ice. I don't know. I feel like we need to, I feel like it's not trying to hurt us. It's trying to protect the thing and going to try to awaken its army.
It only hurts us if we are in the way. If this door can stop it, great. Right now, it's trying to bring the Everfire to the museum. Whoever has the control rod knows what they have, and they ordered this golem to bring artifacts in general, or the Everfire itself, to the museum. It has a long way to go. We can break it in that time.
Okay.
So
Do
we
keep
just
fighting?
keep fighting it?
Okay.
Who has the control rod?
Whoever we didn't steal it from. I need to see where I'm at. I'm like all the way out. Okay. I would like to stabby stab.
Okay.
That is a natural 20.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Plus 7.
And you're using your staff, or what are you stabbing with?
Daggers.
Daggers.
Stabby stabs.
Okay. gonna skip that one.
What's America? And a crit would have been like 25. Wait. Did I crit? No. I didn't, did I?
You did crit.
Oh, cool. Then that's okay. That's double. Never mind.
Yeah.
With natural 20.
And you got, the target is fatigued, but it is immune to fatigue, so.
Okay.
Things immune to most things.
Generally.
Constructs do be that way.
Yeah, and I mean, they did design this thing to be like the thing.
Be immune to everything,
Yeah. I'm just
And
mad.
I will say these are not as bad as your run-of-the-mill iron golems, which are immune to magic except for certain effects, and have a much higher physical resistance. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't.
That what? Crap. Hold on. That was
Mental math.
5.
Okay. No damage.
Great. Roll the nat 20 for nothing! Wait, if I crit, does that mean I get a crit card?
You did,
Yeah.
but it was immune to its effect.
Ah, damn it.
We just gotta keep hitting this thing. More dice.
Alright, I'll try again. No.
All right. Its turn. It's gonna attempt to move.
It falls.
It does.
I love the ice
Stand up.
so much.
Try again, and it's fine. It is. It doesn't have enough for it that attack. Yeah, just gonna step up to the door. Jesus. I feel like this is just drawing it out longer than it really needs to. Ahira.
Gonna use needle and thread
Okay.
at it.
Roll off them out. Do, 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 do. Roll off them
Where
out.
is that? Okay.
Does anybody remember the roll off them out?
Yes.
Oh, back in my World of Warcraft days.
Cool.
Chicken.
I'm not gonna hit it,
Okay.
so I'm gonna try and cast Election Dark at it again.
Okay.
That's another reflex save.
28. Which I think is critical success
Yep.
again.
Well, that's all my actions.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Archie.
Forbidding ward. Can it target the door?
I mean,
It says
no?
ally.
Yeah, so not an object. Yeah.
Dang it. Okay, then there's literally nothing.
That
Archie
door
can
is
do.
my ally.
It's my friend.
He is my friend.
Monotati will move here and make some attacks. First one.
Okay.
Nope. Second one. Nope. Third one. Nope. Subsequently higher, but actually lower because of bonuses and stuff.
Yep. Yep.
10.
Okay. Kimberly's gonna continue her thing. And continue failing at it, obviously. Deacon.
All right. He gonna do what he do best. First
Yep.
attack. 24
Ooh, that's
for
it,
7
but
slashing, so nothing.
Nothing damage.
Second attack, 25 for 15 slashing.
Ooh, okay. Alright.
That finally does some damage.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the last attack does nothing.
All right. Okay. Deacon, Finn.
Do I know if... Is there like a way... Oh, hold on. How do I do that?
Do what?
The, like the... Make the... that. So over this way, since I was the one that didn't explore, is there like a way out, or do I know, or like a way around? Like a loop?
Is this the only door out?
This is the only door out of this room, yes. Here. Give you a little more.
Yeah, because we would have had to come in that way.
Yeah.
There is just... We can't outrun it. Okay. I will... Do I have to roll a jump on the table?
Nah.
So I'll just come around, get on the table.
Okay.
Can I get a clear shot from here?
Yep.
Don't have time to devise a stratagem. Frostbolt.
Well, move. Yeah, I guess you could.
Can I still like load an arrow and devise a stratagem, or just load the arrow?
You didn't have. Yeah, I guess you didn't have one loaded already. So, yeah, you would have to load the arrow, but not be able to do a stratagem.
YOLO Rolo.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
It's a 5. It's definitely not gonna hit.
Nah.
That's a 5.
More ice.
It'll just renew the ice that's at the bottom. Serana.
Okay. I had an idea, and now it's gone. Fuck. No, I just gotta keep stabbing it. That's my only option. So it's not like if I touched it, it wouldn't like shock me or anything, or electrocute me or like set me on fire.
Not
by just touching it.
It doesn't have any like active, active like auras
Touching it
or
doesn't
anything.
hurt.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Then I'd like to jump on top of it.
Okay.
I would like to attempt to jump on top of it and not grapple it and take it down to the ground, but just piggyback.
Like, get on, hold on to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me an athletics.
Oh, athletics is not good for me.
No.
Oh, that's cocked. That is 16.
Um, 16. Not enough.
Yeah.
So you're like gonna leap up and try to grab it, but it's just a little slippery. Slippery
Okay.
when wet.
I'm gonna stab it then.
Okay.
Is that so? This is not -5, right?
Right. Correct. Actually, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, because I already did the. Yeah, it's not gonna hit. Okay.
All right. You would be able to whittle it down. So it turns around and faces the lot of you. Okay. A blue glow, a blue shimmering almost, collects in this creature's mouth, or this object's mouth, and frost begins to billow out in small wisps before it just explodes outward, catching I think just about everybody, except for Serana, Kimberly, and I think George, maybe. In this blast of cold. Come on. Ugh. It's terrible.
Oh.
It's cold, not flame.
Correct. It is ice. In a 20-foot cone in front of it. Oh, actually might not get Deacon. It can angle it though. But then it wouldn't get Archie. Yeah, we're gonna... Yeah,
but definitely
looks
Finn
good.
and definitely a hero.
So, Deacon, Finn, and Ahira, I need reflex saves, please.
Finally!
Oh, good roll, huh?
Not for Deacon.
21.
Not for a hero, she rolled the same thing. 12.
Okay.
Well, there's a 5 on the die.
In that case... there's 31 points of cold damage.
Ahira's dying. She's dying.
Finn, what was your roll?
21.
So yes, 21, is that what I said? 21 points?
I rolled a 21. You said 30 points of cold?
Yeah,
No.
you said
Yes,
like 30
yes I did.
points.
Yeah. 31. Yeah, 31 points.
Okay.
Just like ice and frost cascades and washes over, you know, creating those like nice ice spikes and stuff where its breath landed, freezing Ahira, I take it, Deacon,
Yeah.
and Finn taking lots of damage there too. It's stopping just short of George. George like
Thank goodness.
that would have finished off poor George.
We're dying.
Then it turns around and punches the door as hard as it can. And the door buckles. but it is still held. I think I'm going to, with the fighters and everything, unless anybody has any great ideas of what they would like to do to stop this from happening, I am going to conclude this combat by saying that it punches its way through the door and leaves the party in shambles as it trudges down the hallway and disappears around the corner. Unconcerned with your fates.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have any ideas. I can't do anything. I'm dying.
Are you at 0?
I'm at a very negative number. I had
So
19 hit
Immediately,
points left.
Archie is going to stabilize everyone with that cantrip.
Okay, awesome. Yes, you'll put in you'll stabilize and maybe provide some first aid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I am completely tapped for magical healing, so Archie has to rely on his doctor's skills to bring everybody back. Which I think
I
he
have
would
my
be
staff.
able to.
No, I already used it. Damn it.
Yeah.
I think he
Can we
would
use
be
it,
able to, like,
Well-
just fine with not trying to just get everyone above 0. That's his goal. Make it as easy on himself as possible.
You can do so. You get everyone stable, limping along at least, so that you can leave this place behind. And in your... Are you gonna camp out in the vault?
That might have to be a conversation we have next time.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. That was intentionally a difficult fight, so I don't want you all to be too upset at yourselves. I literally designed that to be extremely difficult. There's a bit of a plot device there, and if you had overcome it, all the power to you. Like, that would have been awesome. But I don't want you to beat yourselves up for not being able to defeat it. I made it
There's gotta be
intentionally
moments where,
difficult.
storytelling wise, I'm glad there's moments where we get to deal with failure.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the same if we didn't.
I don't want you to beat yourselves up over it. So please don't. Know that that was intentionally difficult. But that we are over time, so I am going to leave as our camera pans away from Archie desperately attempting to revive his party members and friends. And we will fade out for this episode of The Facite. I know that was a little bit of a brutal and long combat. That was absolutely a war of attrition. Thank you, anybody who, and especially Stouffer and Jude, and I don't know if Slayer of All was still with us, but thank you all for staying with us, for supporting this channel and this game. We really appreciate you, and hope that you'll be able to come back next week when we are finally out of the vault, and the players or the characters will be level 4.
Yes.
Yes. So players, please look into your options for level 4, and we will have you better equipped for the next time that you go head to head with that golem. But
The next time.
Yeah, we're not leaving.
That
I
may
mean, we
happen.
need the
its own
Everflame.
machinations.
That may happen.
We need the Everflame too.
I
And
know,
it
I just don't want to
hasn't,
think about
so-
it right now.
All right. Well, we will go ahead and let you all go. We really appreciate you. We hope you had a wonderful weekend and that you have a great week ahead of you. Great weekend. And we will hopefully see you again to Reclaim Mondays with us. I have been your game master and game mistress, Winter. You can find me at gmistresswinter on Twitter and Instagram, and over at Cybernation Uncensored on Thursdays, where we are still on the last 3 episodes of Star Trek. We've had to delay a little bit, but we will be bringing them back to you this week. So do tune in if you want to check that out. Star Trek Adventures is a lot of fun. And that's me. How about you, Abby?
Hi everyone, I'm Abby Marie Carter. I played Ahira tonight. You can find me on Instagram at Abby_Marie_Carter. And you can catch me back here next Monday playing Ahira again. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you. And Dennis.
Hi, I'm Dennis. I played Archie tonight. You can find me on Twitter at okayest__DM. I've been running tech tonight. It was a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what happens next and how Archie and his friends deal with what the hell just happened.
Wonderful. Taking failure and, learning something from it, I guess. All right. Thank you. And Joey.
Hi, I'm Joey. Finn's not dead, and neither is Flynn yet. And Starbottle on Sundays over at Spells and Storycraft. You can also find me at Prince Perry Pastille on Twitter and TikTok.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And JoJo.
I'm Joe, and I played Serana tonight. And I also play Lucy on Sundays in Spells and Storycraft's Spelljammer campaign. And yeah, if you ever want to see what a barbarian wizard looks like, come over there, because that's what you're gonna see with me. It's a fun time. But yeah, and you can find me on social media at too, most places.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we will hopefully see you next week. Have a good night.